So just to start, tell us a little bit about how you came onto the film and what pushed you towards joining, and what about the character that spoke to you?
Well, I was really drawn to it feels like many different kinds of movies in one movie. And my stuff with Chris Pratt, it really feels like this little tiny indie about a marriage. And it really deals with, I don't know, even though it's a big, shiny alien movie, it really feels like a pretty accurate portrait of what it feels like to be married, and to be in love with someone throughout for a long period of time, and to see them go through changes. And I think she sees Dan as somebody who she can see the person inside that he wants to be, and knows that he's doesn't feel that way right now, and the circumstances of his life aren't meeting his desires inside. And I think that worries her because, you know, we've got a daughter to raise and life to live. And I think that he's sort of sinking into the couch in this darkness when this thing happens. When naturally soldiers explode onto the screen from the future and say there's a war against humanity. But it's sort of his opportunity to find that inner thing and channel it into something. And to me, that's very relatable.
I agree. And I think that you mentioned it, but you and Chris, your scenes are pretty much the like emotional crux of the film. So what was it like working with him and kind of like figuring out those scenes together and kind of grounding these characters that are like massive kind of as human?
Yeah, I think that it was really important to Chris and I, excuse me, and to Chris McKay, the director, that these people feel real. You know, I think that a trap to fall into is, you know, where it just looks like a bunch of people in makeup who met that day saying lines and sucking it in. And I think that it was important to me to make Emmy a real three-dimensional person who loves her husband, but also is frustrated that he's not stepping up and being the person that she knows that he can be. I think that my dynamic with Chris Pratt was very easy, and it felt immediately like, oh, this is a wonderful, warm, open person. It felt very safe and lovely. You know, you never know with these movie stars when you're going to walk on set and they're like, I only eat dried plums, and I think the Postal Service has to do with space. And you're like, okay, awesome, excited to work together. Chris couldn't be more wonderful and open and loving, and a real ensemble member, and passionate about making movies and making things feel real.